Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to Personal Evolution Unlimited, a space for interesting people, stories, and lifestyles. And today I have here a very interesting guest, Vera SVACH. She's an international woman of mystery. What I mean is, she lives a very cosmopolitan lifestyle. She travels widely and she works basically internationally, right? Am I
Yeah.
correct?
hmm
So, welcome. Thank you for being here. And let's just jump into the river of our chat.
Oh my God. Thank you very much for the introduction. Thank you for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here. Yeah. Let's dive in. I'm
Let's dive
interesting to
in.
reveal this woman of mystery. So
Yeah, exactly. Me too. So when I was looking up the your story, of
Mhm.
course there is a book. You're a published author, and you have written a book about your life story, about your travels, about living abroad. Because originally you're from the Czech Republic, like myself,
Yes. Hmm
and you have lived in many different countries. So it was like tracing your movements: Prague, Montreal, Shanghai, Berlin. I don't know if I said it in the right
Yeah.
order. So, where would you like to start? Maybe how did your story of cosmopolitan lifestyle and international woman of mystery started?
Um, well, I have always felt that I don't belong so much to the place where I was born and raised till the age of 14. I always felt a bit different, a bit more, as to say. Not that the people where I come from are less, but I felt that there's so much more for me to explore, to live, to accomplish, different people, to meet different cultures. So it started with my school. I went for a high school already to another city where I lived in a boarding school, then university, different city. And the cities were getting bigger, the opportunities were getting more adventurous. And I just followed the calling, and it was very unusual for that period of post-communistic country, or for my parents difficult to understand, but it was a great start because I learned at quite early age to listen to my heart, to follow the calling, and take, of course, everything that comes with it, which are the pros and also the challenges. So that's how it started, basically from early age.
So, the evolution of Virka.
Evolution, I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
You mentioned that it was the post-communist time, which means your parents are from the generation that have lived quite restricted and limited lives. So you were the
Yes.
first one to kind of break free
Yeah.
and follow that.
hmm
Um, how was this
True.
being the one that is making creating a new way, new ways of thinking, new ways of feeling? Because when we live with our family in a certain settings, we are quite influenced by the thought patterns and the perceptions of the world and how things should be. So how was it for you?
Yeah, it's true. And it has not been always easy because many things I had to figure out myself.
Mm,
I didn't have like the family baseline
mm,
to come to for advice, for like recharging. And there were many times that I was discouraged or compared to other members of the family who are safer but still happy. Yeah.
mhm,
So it was not always easy, but I was always able to find my tribe,
mhm.
community, or bubble where I felt like, oh, I'm not the only one. The things that I'm feeling can be normal from different perspectives. But I went a long journey within myself, within the personal transformation, to make peace with what I'm coming from, make peace with the mindset that I have in my broader family, and accept it,
Mhm.
not judge. Sometimes, still, yet it's painful. Some situations or some comments are still painful, but I know how to work with that. I know that it's part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
And I know from the soul point of view, from the big picture, that I am the change in the family. I bring the new code, the new shift in the whole ancestor line, not
Mm-hmm.
only in feminine part, but like overall in our tribe, or how to call it. So I know it. And from this point of view, I know that also the rest of the family members are so happy and so supportive, even if they're in reality we are still playing this game, these roles. Like they are helping me to go and to walk this new journey for our whole family.
Oh, that's beautiful because, yes, that's the evolution not just of the self, but of the bigger self of your family lineage, of the ancestral line as well.
Mm.
So that's well worth all
Yeah.
the challenges. So how did you start knowing that you're following some kind of internal call? When was it that you started to be really conscious about it?
For many years, it was unconscious, or more like automatic, and my compass was my feeling.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I was guided by the happiness, the joy, the adventure, by the things that made me feel good. Like I was happy with the people that I'm meeting, the countries that I'm getting to know. So that was the compass. Like I was enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
The things changed when I gave birth to my first child, daughter, and I was not that free. And of course, it happens with many women. A child opens some, like a path inside of you that wants to be heard, things that
Mm-hmm.
wants to be solved or revealed. Different levels, different layers of yourself are ready to be explored. And there was the time when things got a bit more step by step conscious, but for many years I was lost in it. Like, what's happening? Why? And it was the moment when I got pregnant again, and my husband got a job offer in Shanghai, in China. And me ready for any adventure, maybe ready for change.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing this weird calling, which was quite scary, but it was a calling, I followed him. And that was the period of, I would say, 10 years transformation and a big evolution
Mm-hmm.
that I went through. And now at the end of this cycle, I might say, I feel much more conscious, mindful, wise,
Mm-hmm.
and aware of many of these levels that we are living in, the many dimensions and different perspectives. So yeah, it was a hell of a journey.
It's a hell of a journey. Adventurous exploration.
Yeah.
So we are getting to the Shanghai story, but I will pull us a little bit back. How did your past take you from Prague to Shanghai then? How is that section of your path?
um, well, my husband came with the idea, the proposal, that he got this job offer. And it was a really good job offer that was supposed to transfer him as an expat from Prague, where we were living together with our daughter. She was 14 months then,
Mm.
and to move to Shanghai. So it
So
was
what
like, yeah.
so it was the opportunity that came to you, and you could have said yes or
Or no,
no
of
or
course.
no. So was it instant knowing, or did you need a period of, yeah, maybe shall I, shouldn't I? Or was it like this?
Luckily, we didn't have so much time to decide.
Okay.
It was quite fast. And sometimes I take that as a sign.
Hmm.
And looking back, it was good,
Hmm.
because there would be a chance that I would say no if I would use more reason, more,
Ah, yeah.
yeah,
Analysis
like the
paralysis.
reasons why not. I had my own company then. It was
Hmm.
successful company. I knew my ways. I was very comfortable in life, but I was not challenged in a way of personal growth. And I believe that on this world, at least I am here to grow, to develop all the skills that I have, to explore all the different parts of me. It's like,
Yeah. So in terms of the comfortable comfort zone where everything is nice and set and known, the inner
yes,
calling of yours, that your inner drive to grow and learn and explore is just the strongest
yeah,
drive,
yeah.
strongest.
And the universe had to prepare something really big for me to allow the shift to happen. Sometimes I need a really big shake up, like, come on, because I don't listen, or in the past, I was not listening so much to the smaller callings or something. It was very comfortable back then. So, of course, you are not that aware, you are not that, ready to act upon some symbols or signs. So I needed, looking back, I needed something really big. Completely different continent, different time zone. So I was not able to work. Heavily pregnant. We were moving, and I was 7 months pregnant with the second child, with the 16-month-old baby. So
Wow.
what can be, and my husband went straight to work and he was like out. So what can be, bigger challenge
I was just
for a
thinking.
woman? Yeah. So it was like, bang, you know what? There you are. I call it like when a soul is knocking on a door, like you need maybe think differently or do a slight change or something, and you are not listening. You're just, going in a direction like you are used to. There's a bigger knock or there's a kick from the soul, yeah, but you are still like, yeah, it's fine, So you know what? Bang.
I was just thinking, it's like this soul, it's like the soul decided not to knock on the door anymore. It just kicked the door in.
Exactly, like you are ready now, and like this is not what you came for. This is not the plan of the soul. So right, it was big, and I'm
So,
so grateful for it, even if it was quite difficult.
I'm just starting to get the measure here because it's like if you do something, you do it properly, right? Full
Yeah,
on with everything. If challenge, then proper challenge. Like why to make things just really little? So how was it when you arrived to Shanghai, all of a sudden, new culture, new language, which is a totally different from all the other languages in Europe, you pregnant, heavily pregnant with a small child, and now, yeah, as you said, you were used to having your own business, and now you're in the
nothing.
middle of Shanghai in this new empty space.
Yeah, exactly. It was exactly like that. Yeah, and I remember trying to have conference calls like in 2 a.m. in the night
Oh yeah,
to
time
somehow,
zones.
feel like, come on, I'm still here. But we elected a new operation director because I was away. Yeah. So I lost my position. I lost my power. I
Wow.
lost my say, like in the company. It was not anymore my decision. I was just the owner, but not in the operation. So for me, that was quite difficult. Yeah.
I was going to ask, how did you deal with this? Because then lots of our internal aspects come into play, I mean, like all the way from the soul down to the inner child, the
Yeah.
whole internal family. So how did you deal with that? Because it's a big impact.
Yeah, it's big. Yeah. And I realized how much I was happy in the roles that I had, successful businesswoman, business owner, happy relationship. And suddenly it went through the big test. Like maybe you are not what you're thinking you are. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because it's easy to hide behind our position. You're
Yeah.
CEO, bank, easy. People treat you in some way, you feel in a way like, but when you lose it or like voluntarily deciding to lose it,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, and then
Give
you
it
are
over.
like, what is, nobody's listening to me, and it's like I can do whatever I want with my day. that was for me completely new. Suddenly I had opportunity to do anything or not to do anything, yeah, apart from the basic things, to arrange the apartment and go for a hospital visit and choose the hospital where I will give birth. I could like do anything or nothing, and it was scary.
It is a scary space because I'm just thinking that, someone listening to it might say, "Oh, this sounds great. I would love that." But
Yeah.
actually, when you are in that situation, it's a whole different story when you are actually sitting in the middle of this context, because
Yes.
there is the empty space and you have been used to your roles and old identity, and you might have thought theoretically this would be great because I can start from the scratch, but where do you start? And as you said, you can't hide from yourself. Things come up that
Yeah.
you haven't had time and space for, and it's like, whoa. How was
So
it
that
for
was
you?
the time for the things to, go out. Yeah. But I remember the moments of darkness. Really, it was
Mm,
not easy. The emptiness, but it was not just emptiness of the apartment that we started to furnish, but you realize that a sofa, a plant, does not fill up maybe the apartment, but not your inner space.
You're
So it
furnishing new life, not just new apartment. Yes.
exactly. So it was like furnishing new life, and also our relationship was going through a big challenge because we were in different setting. Each of us were going through challenges individually and then together, and then we were supposed to become bigger family. Like, looking at it from this context, it was really scary. But what saved me was the reminding of my husband. He grew up in Canada, so his family went through immigration. So there were many like skills that he already had. So when he was in the situation, some skill that he already knew, the survival, the positive attitude, the patience, that helped me because I had a guide. Like, come on, how you feel? It's normal. It's good when somebody tells
Mhm.
you that it's normal, that
Mhm.
it's understandable to feel lost, that it's not you against them, who's better. It's like somehow learning to find a way to coexist together. And there were many things that I learned from my husband. He was a good guide, even if he didn't have so much time for me.
Mhm.
And also, I had a big help as an expat wife, that we were not in the middle of Shanghai alone.
Mhm. Mhm.
We had like a assistant that was available to us in certain days to help us deal with documents or in the
Mhm.
hospital, communicating with the Chinese, because you can
Mhm.
not only understand but not even read.
Read, yes. That's what I found really difficult, I have
Like,
to
no,
say. For
nothing. Like,
it's like you can't even read which one is the ladies and which is the gents in the public
exactly.
toilets.
You
And
need
that
time to learn the signs, right?
you do. And that is interesting how much one realizes how much your subconscious context does for you, because in terms of settling yourself in your environment, isn't it? Because it's just so you have the points that you can kind of anchor yourself to and orient yourself through. But now in this settings it's like, no, I can't even read the sign, this pointer. So
Yeah.
how was that for
But
you?
also the culture is so
The
different.
cultural
Also the
cultural
culture
shock.
is.
Yes.
I remember something with pillows and blankets. I don't know what, but I remember me feeling like, come on, I said pillow. How come they don't understand what what I'm talking about? Because maybe their lifestyle is so different, that they
Mhm.
do things completely differently. So as I said, my husband helped me to acquire and activate this open mindset.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's not like I want it my way and my way is good. European way is the normal one.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm ready to
Yes.
explore, learn, get used to things being different. And I remember in myself something like the flexibility in life started to grow. something more, it was suddenly more soft. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It can be like this, or it can be different. You expect something. Okay. It's better not to expect, because let's be adventurous.
Mm-hmm.
So this was so good. And I'm so happy for it till now. It helps me now to live, work,
Yeah.
and, survive abroad, or basically anywhere. Basically
Mm.
anywhere. Yeah.
Well, flexibility, opening up the space for yourself to possibilities and different way of thinking and doing things. And it builds resilience as well, especially at this time that we live, as the Chinese said, used to say as a curse, may you live in interesting times. And we certainly do live in interesting times. So in these interesting times when everything is changing and it's so intense and rapid, these skills are just must. They're amazing. And we will get to it later because you are actually helping other people, guiding other people as a coach and mentor to acquire lots of different skills and mindsets. But back to Shanghai story then.
Yeah.
So what were the biggest pivotal moments for you in Shanghai? Maybe the toughest ones, but also the highest points.
Mhm. Of course, the big thing was my birth, the second birth, but my first birth in China. It was C-section, and the biggest, let's say, positive outcome for me, apart from the baby, our son, was a big connection with myself, like a new connection with myself, and deep trust in me, in my body, in my intuition, in my survival skills, because I was left alone, let's say. My husband was partly with me, but he was also taking care of our little daughter. She was 18
Mm-hmm.
months then. So let's say I was fighting the battle alone, and it was incredible growth for me in different culture, hearing Chinese. My doctor was from Hong Kong, and
Yeah.
I just went with the flow in complete trust, because it was C-section,
Mm-hmm.
and I just had to, like, not give up, but, like, give the way to it. I just had to trust, and also trust myself. And after the birth, in Czech Republic, when you have a C-section or any birth and difficulties with breastfeeding, they help you with like additional maternity milk, or with the formula. But I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know, of course, I didn't know. I like somehow expected that this is also like this in China, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have any milk support.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to know that after the birth, when the milk was not flowing. And I was like, yeah, but just in case you have some help. And they were like, huh? the Chinese, like, huh? Like, what? Completely, like, not
This is not the
understanding
norm
my
here,
question,
yes.
like, I was like,
Yeah.
some formula or something. No, you need to prepare it. So tell your husband to bring it. Like, and he was like, what? In the middle of the night. And I didn't have it ready. I just didn't count with this possibility. Don't blame me. And then I was like, you know what? Let's see. Women in the past, our ancestors, the generation of women, without any help, they were able to feed their baby or find another mom. I was like, in a worst case scenario, I will knock in the door of the other room, breastfeed my
Yes.
baby. And then I was like, oh, it's okay. I will find a way, and fell asleep. And then when I woke up, I had my son on me. That was good. They allow it. That was a bit different and better than in Czech Republic back then. And suddenly he was looking for my nipple and started to feed himself. So the moment that um, I just like lied down in the trust, like, you know what, somehow we will manage. And I let go the pressure, expectations, the mind, and I just let go. And the miracle happened. So this was a big shift for me.
This is so beautiful because it just, we find lots of battles out here and try to, or that's what we've learned, what we have been programmed for, to try to control it externally. But by what you are saying, it's just so beautiful. You just allowed a new space, new possibility open up internally in your own inner space, and somehow it's just happened and resolved. It's just like, how the Taoists say, when you look in the nature, if things are not changed by force, the nature knows what to do and how to flow and how to resettle itself, recalibrate. And by going in and trying to change everything and have it always in the external control by the mind very often, it's like sometimes we are battling against ourselves, against the flow that would have helped us otherwise. I don't know if it makes sense, but that's what I'm getting from what you're saying.
Yeah. I love the way how you put words together.
Thank you.
I like the way you are naming things. It's wonderful. You are using really healing words.
Thank you.
I believe it's true. Yeah, like you just stop to control things and support the trust within you, and also trust to the universe or the bigger force, however you name it, that things will reveal with the best intention for you. You don't need to control anything. On the other hand, when we lose the control, energetically I imagine that as like something like you drop, like and the control, and somehow it can reveal, maybe change, walk in different direction. And since that moment I feel this bigger ease in my life, that I'm able to read the signals much sooner. The soul doesn't have to kick anymore.
Yeah.
More like with the flow, more exploring, enjoying, and also with bigger ease. You live really in bigger ease, and then you don't need to constantly control and overwork yourself, because you know deeply that it can work also differently.
Because your system tells you, right? You just feel it in your whole being. It's just not one aspect of you telling you, oh, it should be this way, or let's do it that way. You just like, you allow all your resources, the wholeness of you, to guide you and to go into everything. And that way you are basically a living system within living space, interconnected and kind of flowing. It's like a dance of life, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah. However, now I feel, and it might be maybe interesting for many people, understanding these principles, yet I started to feel some, like Germans call it Deckel,
Deckel.
like a cap, or some, maybe it's a glass ceiling, maybe it's some limit, maybe it's the end of some period, because this transformation of me, this period, has lasted 10 years. Now it will be, now it's 10 years, more or less. And I feel some things are closing down, and still I don't see what will be after. So this might get also uncomfortable, even if you are reading the signals, but the signals that I'm reading, the messages that are coming to me is like, wait,
Yes.
And sometimes the wait is so uncomfortable, because I want to know, like I want to hit the ceiling, or like, what's next? Maybe we will be moving, or some things will change. I feel like a bit of pressure growing.
It's leading
I don't know
to
what
it.
to do, work more or change. I don't know. So I'm more like preparing, having a lot of rest. Because if change will come, it will need my energy and physical energy. I try to enjoy what it is, maybe like a plateau. Maybe it's like a plateau. So this is also interesting to mention, because this might happen too, that you don't know, you just don't see the other way. And even if you are, willing to relax and not control, it might be uncomfortable.
All right. And it's okay to sit in
And
uncomfortable
it's okay.
spaces.
That's the message. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Because before I hit the record button, we were already talking and we were getting into the flow because we were saying we are in a similar stage in our process, in the stages of cycles of life, that after a time of challenge and growth, and then comes the time of integration, and we call it the year 9, where you are finishing everything from the past cycle. Things are just like you're tying your loose ends and you're completing things and making like spring cleaning, making space for the new. But the new is not yet born. I call it
Yeah.
the space of not knowing. And in our culture, in our day and age, so much like driven by the external action and by being productive, it's really uncomfortable space because everyone around is like, what you see or what you perceive, which may not be complete truth, is that everyone is doing something, everyone is creating, everyone is like advancing, and I am sitting here in this space of not knowing, and what the hell am I failing being a
Yeah.
perfect human being, right? So I'm so glad you brought it up, because it's uncomfortable space, especially for our head.
Mhm.
But on some way, in some way, it could be very comfortable space of, oh my God, this is empty space. I can
Mhm.
build anything from here. And I'm okay with not knowing what I'm going to build because it will reveal itself. And it took me so many
Exactly.
years to get
Yeah.
to this point. Because yeah, there's this like feeling the jittery thing and the mind going.
Yeah. 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 So you understand, and it's important phase. And
Mm,
now I know it because I know the life cycles, like the
mm,
principles of the universe, and I have life experience. So, for example, I'm coming back to periods when I felt like this. There were two periods like that. So there are certain cycles, yeah, maybe 10-year cycles, 15, or also some smaller cycles, as you explained to me. So it's good because I'm capable of more patience
mhm, mhm,
myself towards the others, slowing down, enjoying, also cleaning and cleansing things within me, also in our home, in our business. For example, yesterday I was cleaning my server of the website, old photos. I'm like, you see what I'm doing? I'm able to do this. Like I was postponing it for so many years, and suddenly
mhm,
it comes naturally.
mhm.
Close down, finish, make space for the new. But I don't know what the new will. I have some visions. I use the quantum energy. Like, oh my God, this would be great, and I sense it like this. I imagine how we are living in our new home or in another country, wherever it will be. So I'm manifesting,
Mhm.
but the action is more calm
Mhm. Mhm. You're
or
holding the
non-action. And
space.
yeah,
You're
and
holding the space.
non-action we know, right, from Tao, and what I have learned in China, non-action is also action.
A very important one. Yes, the yin and
Yeah.
yang.
Yeah.
They do support each other and create a dynamic whole. So without the one, the other is not prospering. So that makes perfect sense. And once it is as you said, what I like and I would like to highlight is what you said. I have experienced it. I have had the experience, so now I understand it, because there are different levels of understanding. Often we
Mhm.
start with the understanding intellectual of concepts, and it's great. We read books, we listen to things, and it's very important. But the important process is not to stop it there and let it trickle into your visceral experience, that you experience it with your body, with your emotions, yeah, a live-in experience. And sometimes you get the experience through just living it, and then it comes from there, and you can put it into intellectual concepts. and pass it on. So that this living experience is the most important one, because from there you really understand viscerally.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
That's
Again,
true.
thank you for putting it into words.
I just wanted to highlight it because you said it, and I think it's also very important because again, in our day and age and in our cultures, we are so focused on the rational mind and logical mind, which is a fantastic resource and fantastic tool, but it's only one of them that we have, and we focus on it so much that it's not doing us any favors. It's like
Yeah.
to. So
Mm.
back to Shanghai, you said it has been 10 years now. When did you decided to write a book about it, and what was the how would I say it, the trigger to decide to write a book? Because it's not an easy thing. It's a big project.
It's not an easy thing. I thought it will be easy. And that's good. Sometimes we need to think, oh, that would be easy. So you can do it,
Yeah, otherwise you would be like, no.
Exactly. No. I love books. I love reading. I admire authors or people who write even blogs because uh, it's deeper than when you talk to someone. I somehow feel that written word, being it fiction or non-fiction, gets deeper to people and also opens the moment, like you and the message, without any distractions. So my secret dream was to write something. I was writing blog or screenplays for my podcast. I have big social media presence because I love to express myself in writing. And many people ask me for a book. Like, you're a coach, you have so interesting approaches, so innovative ideas and thoughts, so great stories in your posts or blog posts. But my limiting belief was that I'm not good enough to write a book. How can I write a book? That's for the other people, and I don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lady, Czech lady, who is teaching writing, and she had this mini course for free. And the first thing was like how to see these limiting beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a coach, but I know that to coach yourself is the most difficult thing. Yeah, you don't see certain things.
Yeah. Blind corners.
And I was like, I don't have time. The kids are still too small, and basically I can't write. And when you see it, you are like, come on, like it's just you can organize your schedule. You can ask for external help with the kids or household, and you are not good enough. Look at all the words that you have written in the past years. And then I said, like, let's give it a try. But me talking also about the Shanghai story, when I decide for something, I just go for it. I'm not a quitter. I'm not a procrastinator. And I remember, like, I thought that I will be finishing the book, and I was in half because it changed in the process. The message, that the story that I wanted to write changed. I thought it will be on surface, but during the writing process, it got deep.
But there is a team. It's you, and is the project the book?
Yeah,
So
true. Exactly. Yeah.
and the book also tells
And
you
exactly. And
it
the
the
book
timing.
wanted to be something else, and I thought it would be. And it's
It's
also
like with the
nice
babies.
life. Exactly. Like with the life, like with the universe, like your mind projects something, you imagine something, how it will be, you expect something to be somehow. But if you accept that in the process it might change, it might divert from the original idea, and you let it happen, that's where the magic can happen. So this book, I have it here, was supposed to be like this tiny, something like this.
And it wanted to be bigger.
And it
Can you
started to be, yeah, it's in Czech.
So it's on the road. On the
It's on
road
the
to
road. I
Shanghai
call it more like a
story.
journey. More
Okay.
like a journey, Shanghai story of a transformation of an ordinary woman, like inner transformation. Eh?
Mm-hmm.
And there was the moment of frustration that I wanted to give up. I thought that it will be written and finished till some time because I had other projects and my online courses. But then I was
And
the
kids and
kids, of
family.
course,
Yeah,
yeah, like
so there's a lot.
family. And I was like, so what do I do? And I remember really banging my head on the wall, like, come on, in frustration and deep despair. Like, what do I do? I don't want to give up, but this will need twice more time. But we sit down with my husband and decided to take also financial risk, postpone some other projects. And he took over some other household help. And I finished the book.
So was there really a moment that you were like, yeah, hell, I'm giving up. This is it. I can't take it anymore. Or was it even just for a little
No,
moment or not? Not at all.
there were moments of despair and tiredness and sadness, and also moments of feeling not good enough. Is it good? Moments of really maybe depression when I had to delete some parts that I have written in blood because it was
not
not,
deleting.
Deleting is like deleting. You cry when you delete.
Yeah, I know. I read myself, so I'm like, I totally, I'm living this with you because it's like, no, oh my goodness,
oh my God,
my
no,
baby.
this doesn't need to be in the story. We are not, just to make it long. So delete. Yeah. And so, but there was never to give up. The inner calling was so. Anyway, it was even growing in the process of writing the book. Like the calling, like, oh my God, this is it. This is so meaningful for me, healing for me. And I believe that through that, it can be meaningful and healing for the other people too.
So the inner commitment was really strong.
Yes, yeah.
Just knew this was it.
And it was really like a hard calling, hard journey. Like it was like nothing against, like you will not, just don't do it. Yeah. It was really deep feeling that I believe I have to do this. And after that, I realized that I'm in my 9th year, that the 9th cycle. The book helped me to evaluate, to close down certain things, or to acquire the knowledge and the wisdom from what I have went through. And it's so much profitable for me, but also for my clients, this deep understanding. So I'm so grateful that I have done it. It's really like a baby. And
my
it has
head's down to you.
Activation code for the readers. Every reader gets some inspiration for them, which was also my intention. Like, let the book activate whatever the person needs to go through it. So sometimes it's not pleasant, but sometimes it's good. And the feedback from the readers is really incredible, and I'm very humble in the whole process. Yeah.
Like, my head's down to you that you have gone through all this process. You had such a strong commitment, and you followed your calling, and you have done it, and now your book baby is out in the world making its own way. How was it? And helping other people, as you say, activating things, opening up things, making people think about their own lives and about their own experiences and what they want to do, what they, how they learn from when they look back on their journey and look at the perspective. So I know it is a very intimate process as well, like putting your own story and your own experiences in the words on the paper, and then handing it out to the unknown. How was this process for you? Because it's like, oh my God, I'm just like I'm opening the doors of my life just to everyone.
Yeah. I was already prepared because I'm opening myself in social media a lot. So I got used to the thing that maybe also dark parts can come with it, like some haters or bad comments. But we are aware of the safety issues with my husband. So we are not revealing something that, especially there's one thing that it's in the book described from a little bit different point of view than it happened. Like just adjust it from safety point of view. Yeah.
So you said that you had to put some safety measures into the book, as writers, authors do, to protect some identities, to protect yourself, but the essence of the story and of that experience stays.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah, it's there. So I was already, aware of the challenges of the exposure. Yeah, I have experience from social media or podcast. In podcasts, I just, that it just goes out. And also, in some years ago, before the whole China story, I was participating in one document series on Czech television. And that was quite a big event, which was not planned like that to be. And we got many haters and many public comments, and it was quite big. And it was very painful to go through it. But once you go through something, you build resilience, experience, you know the feeling, you can prepare or avoid some things to protect yourself. So I was basically prepared for anything. And my new approach was, you know what, this is such a genuine project. The book is about me. I am who I am. And I'm fine with anything that comes. I'm doing everything from the bottom of my heart. I listen to the calling. And if it's not perceived well by anybody, it's all right. But it didn't happen, because when it's a project that people need to buy, there's a really lower chance that they will criticize or be really against you. And the receiving of the book was really good, so I was like so happy, prepared for anything. And it was good. So just a pleasant moment. Yeah.
Oh, congratulations, and so well deserved, because you have invested so much into it, and you are giving a lot through the book to others, like helping.
Challenging is the self-publishing, because I self-published.
Okay, well, that's another challenge.
That's another challenge. Self-publishing, marketing, selling, all the PR activities are done by me, or I have some help, but I'm outsourcing the help. But it's my name and my project, so sometimes it's really challenging. And wow, I learned a lot also in this process.
But that's you, Yuta. You are the woman that goes out into the world for the challenges and distills the learning and the wisdom from the experience, and then basically, offer it to the people that come to you for help. Because you work as a coach and mentor, as we mentioned several times. So how did this come about? Tell us about your calling as a coach and mentor.
Well, it started in Shanghai. Because once I started to understand myself, I felt again the calling to maybe guiding the others. And I remember very dark moment, when I was at home with the two little babies. And I remember I needed help. I really needed some kind of help, but I didn't know what kind of help was I needing. And I started to Google, actually not Google, but Bing. Yeah. China, there's no Google. I was Binging what kind of help, maybe some religion, or I don't know, psychotherapists, maybe. And I got to know mindfulness and everything around that. I went to a couple of events and workshops in Shanghai, and I started to feel the incredible help and the relief that I was starting to feel. From the moments of darkness, some sparkles of light started to shine, but inside of me, I started to be step by step more calm and happier again. So that was something incredible. So I decided to study mindfulness more, and I become also over the years also the lecturer of mindfulness, and that's how it developed, yeah, like to guide people through the process that I went through. And later on, I did my coaching license and many other courses, of course, to be able to help people. But my style is always my own experience, learning for myself. And then I can guide people more profoundly from a broader point of view. And it's like 2 years ago that I decided to give up my coaching license, because my coaching become very intuitive, more spiritual, really avant-garde and innovative, that I was not able to meet the criteria of the coaching federation. I'm like, come on, guys, just so much more, so much more in the growth of a person than just follow this kind of systemic coaching or, this kind of structure. So now it's very intuitive and holistic, I would say, really holistic. And that's what brings the big transformation of people.
It's just from what I am seeing, what I'm hearing is that you stepped out of the kind of limiting box, which is fine, because for someone it's fine to stay there. But as you grow and as you acquire more wisdom and more experience, more deeper experience, then the box is just too limited and too small, and you bring so many different aspects. As you said, it's more holistic, because that's not just the aspect of the mindset, it's the somatic aspect, it's the energetic aspect, it's the subtle aspect of what we call soul, spirit, and everyone calls it differently, So for everyone chooses their own word that works for them, but we are describing the same kind of quality, but you bring that in as well. And to me it enriches, because for people that are on their personal journey of evolution, in the stage when they need these aspects, they come to you. For those that are not there, they are somewhere else, they'll go to the licensed coaches that work within the form or formulae of the coaching institute. So it's all fine.
Yeah.
So what in what different ways can people work with you?
Several ways. At the beginning, I recommend my book, because the book is not only about my story, it's a story of a transformation, which is really interesting to read and to get to know the process, what might come, how long it might take, how long time it might take. And also the book includes 19 inspirational and like educational chapters. So there are many inspirations, like how you can go through difficult phases or improve your, tired and angry everydayness. So it's a good start, because you need to start working on yourself primarily. You can have help, but first of all, you need to do your inner homework. And and then I have different levels of courses, either for individual learning or to start in group, so self-study or group coaching, that I love really. That's group coaching where I create the energetical space within the group that allows deeper processes. And also I attract similar women. So the energy in that group is always amazing, supportive, and we're growing together. And then I have some VIP group coaching programs where I have also curriculum. It's much more holistic, also about the body, the energy work, soul, and stuff like that. And the most VIP is my individual one-to-one energetic mentoring, let's say. That's for 6 months. So these are different possibilities how to work with me. And many clients come the long journey with me. And when I see the transformation over the years, let's say it can be 2 to 3 years even, it's a time necessarily to get through all those layers of illusions or, you know, false beliefs about yourself.
Old programming,
All
conditioning,
the coding. Oh my
all
God,
the
yeah,
layers.
it's a lot, yeah. And still living the everydayness and find a way with in the same relationship or in the same home, you know. It's not always easy, but I love so much all the stories of the clients. I love my job so much. I found the purpose of my life. And I really wish this for everyone, to find your place, to get to know the real you, and to really reprogram your life so you can live freely, happily, fully, and like from the point of love, not your mind or the false beliefs, but the pure essence of who you are. That's my vision, the big mission that I have for myself and for this world. That I really see many thousands of women that started to shine and that are, you know, like relieved.
Yeah.
Relieved and like, wow, you know, like eyes open, like, so this is it. That's the big mission I have. Yeah.
Oh, that's a beautiful, shiny vision because, you know, when you have a woman, a man, we are not, you know, leaving you out, men, women and
We are
men.
not leaving you out.
But
Also
we
with
are not
me, it
leaving
will
you
come
out, but
later.
with Vera, she currently works with women, but maybe it will open up to men as well. But for a person, for a human being, releasing that into all those burdens of old conditioning, restrictions, and programming, the inner conflict, the anger or the frustration, and so on and so forth, you know, whatever emotion they come within our system. I'm burdened from lots of it. That type of
Unburdened. That's a wonderful word.
unburdened.
I love your words, really.
So when we become unburdened, there is a space that opens up within us, and we are more connected and more settled at the same time. And when we create in the world for ourselves and everyone else from this space, from this type of energy, if we say it in this way, then I mean, the world would be so much better place, and it is getting slowly there, one person at a time,
One person at a, or one group at a time.
one group at a time. Yes,
That's also
yes.
now my big potential, yeah, that I can work with groups. I have the energetical container strong and clear, cleansed, so I am able to absorb, you know, welcome in the field more women, and also the group speeds up certain projects, certain processes. Yeah, so it's good. And talking about the man, because when I recently I had a big encounter with my soul. There's a guy with my guide, with my mentor, and there were men, and I know they are and will be. But the work that I'm doing with the women helps also the men. So in that vision that the soul, like she showed me what's her mission here in this body, in this life, and there were men of families. Because when a woman transforms herself, like safely, you know, patiently, it can help so much to the relationship with her partner, or with the man, or with other men she is surrounded with. So there are men as well. And I believe that the transformation of a man happens through a woman. Now, in this period of life in our planet. So actually, I work directly with women, but indirectly with men as well. And of course, kids, like the new generation. But The work that I do with women influences the ancestors and also the kids and the new generations in her ancestor line. So it's,
Well, when you think of it, of the symbolism of the woman sitting in the heart of the home, symbolically, if she shines, if she is happy, then that's the space she holds and creates for everyone in her constellation. So that makes perfect sense.
In her constellation, that can be also, work, broader family. The constellation doesn't just necessarily have to be the close family.
Yeah, because it emanates. It's like when you throw a pebble into the lake and the circles just keep going. So that's the same with the way that a person shines. Person settled within herself, the woman settled within herself and unburdened. It's a totally different story for her and for everyone else connected. Even and we are all connected. But just like we can't escape it. We are all connected in the global settings,
We are. It's like the net.
Yeah, the living net of life. Yeah. So, Jirka, this has been amazing. I know I would have loads of questions for you, and I could talk to you for much longer, but I respect your time. So, is there anything that we haven't actually covered and that wants to be said, or is there any message that you would like to give before we conclude today?
I love to give people hope. And in my energy, there is hope and like new energy of activation for the future. So I would like to maybe remind or share with the listeners that there is a hope of change, hope for new beginnings, new relationship with ourselves or with the closed ones. We just need to do the homework, do the inner work. And things can change even if we don't see the change or live in despair. But the change comes from us and from the work that we do for ourselves. So there is a hope. I would like to also activate the energy of the like fresh new beginning and support people in the believing that we can improve and change our life, not just the bigger life that will come, but also our everydayness, how we live the everyday life, because that is what matters the most.
Oh, that's a beautiful message, and there is nothing I can add to it. So I just say thank you so much for this wonderful message and for this wonderful chat, for making the time and the space. And I hope that we will meet here again sometimes and talk some more and share some more with everyone else. So thank you for listening to us today, and keep hope alive. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.